You're watching Good Day Columbus on ABC 6.
Good Friday morning.
TGIF. Always makes me want to go like that.
The music.
Yeah.
Thanks
Powerful.
for waking up with us on this Friday. I'm Pete Scalia.
And I'm Carolyn Bruck, along with meteorologist Dana Turtle and Team Traffic's Katie Garner.
Right now we have team coverage of the disaster in the air. We're covering every angle of the plane that was shot down over Ukraine. Now we want to begin with Taman Bradley, who's live in Washington, D.C. with overnight developments into the investigation. Taman?
Pete and Carolyn, good morning. The debris field is deep in territory controlled by pro-Russian separatists, complicating the work of the investigators, but officials think they know what happened. This morning, the FBI and NTSB are headed to help investigate the Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 disaster. Along the debris path, the fuselage, human bodies, clothing, passports, all clues about what brought down the Boeing 777. All 298 people, including 3 infants, were killed.
When you see wreckage and people still strapped in their seats along a path of 5-10 miles like we have here, it indicates the airplane most definitely split up at higher altitude.
U.S. officials say the working theory is that the plane was shot down by a surface-to-air missile. Officials are still trying to determine who launched the missile and from where, but governments around the world say the initial evidence is clear.
Not an accident, blown out of the sky.
This looks less like an accident than a crime.
Investigators are trying desperately to get to the crash scene, but it's controlled by pro-Russian rebels who say they've recovered the plane's data and voice recorders and will send them to Moscow.
An international team must have full access to the crash site, and no one should interfere with the area or move any debris, including the black box.
The rebels and Russia deny any involvement, but Ukrainian officials claim they have evidence. 2 intercepted phone calls, including this one, in which a separatist at the scene reportedly tells Russian military intelligence, "We have shot down a plane," at Amsterdam's airport where the flight took off, and in Kuala Lumpur where it was supposed to land. Desperate family members are gathering. We're still waiting to learn whether there were any Americans on board, and the UN Security Council is holding an emergency meeting later this morning. They want to get to the bottom of this. Live in Washington, Taman Bradley, ABC 6 News. Carolyn and Pete.
All right, Taman, thanks. Well, it's 6:32, and we are continuing to learn more about who was on board that flight. In just the last 10 minutes, we learned 181 bodies have been removed from the crash site.
An overnight news conference did shed some light on where the passengers were all from. Good Day Columbus reporter Ashley Yours live in the newsroom. And Ashley, you've been monitoring everything coming into our newsroom. This news conference early this morning. What did we learn from this?
Well, Carolyn, a press conference with the Malaysian transportation minister is giving us a little insight into who was on the plane. We now know there were 41 passengers on board whose nationalities could not be identified. 173 people from the Netherlands, 44 Malaysian, 27 Australians, 12 Indonesian, 9 from the United Kingdoms, 4 Germans, 4 Belgians, 3 Filipinos, 1 Canadian, and 1 New Zealander. Now, the Malaysian transportation minister says once all the family members have been contacted, the full passenger manifest will be released. He says more information about the investigation will come from the Ukrainian investigating authority, but he expressed concern for the families of the victims and demanded a thorough investigation.
Malaysia's condemnations of any attack on innocent civilians, its support for an independent international investigations, and most of all, its sympathies with those affected by this tragedy. MH17 was carrying 298 passengers and crew. Our thoughts and prayers are with their families at what must be an incredible, difficult time.
The transportation minister also says the plane's cargo manifest should be released later today. He says Malaysia Airlines is sending 40 staff members to Amsterdam for support. The country itself is sending in a team to help as well. We'll continue to keep you updated. For now, live in the newsroom, I'm Ashley Your. Good Day Columbus.
Ashley, thanks. We're going to continue our coverage throughout the morning right here on Good Day Columbus as new details come in to our newsroom. You can also stay up to date on everything. We have it posted on our website, abc6onyourside.com. We also post to Facebook and Twitter.